Today's project is going to be the tool you never knew you needed until you got it. It's basically going to be a double-ended tool, and that makes tool changing quite a bit easier. You can turn with it, you can face with it, and you can chamfer with it. So it's like a 3-in-1 tool, and I'm sure there's plenty of other things you can do with it as well. But anyway, that's the project for today. Make one of these. Bit more complicated than it looks, or should I say, there's a lot more setting up involved in something like this because of all of the angles and everything. But it'll be a nice little project. So let's get over to the bandsaw. This is what we're using. Just some mild steel. I've got to cut that some 14mm square out of this, and then square it up on the mill. So over to the bandsaw for this. It's the blank, blankety blank. Just going to get that milled down now to somewhere near the right size. Well, I'm going to get it milled down to the right size, not somewhere near. Alright, let's get that underway. Where do we begin? Let's begin on a face that we can use. That face, I would think. Yep. Stick around till the end of the video, because I actually put this tool through its paces on the lathe just to prove that it works. So carry on watching right through to the end and you'll see it in action. Right, we're getting the basic shape now. We can start putting the angles on. We've got the dimensions correct. They're just some guide marks, just to give me an idea of where I need to be. I need to rough this off here, but I'll go over to the bandsaw and cut that off, I think, and then just finish it off to the correct angle. Alright, got it roughly cut off now. I've just got to measure these angles, mill them on these faces. Right, set that to 0. Check. 57 degrees. 57 degrees. It's gone to 0.1 now, but it was 0 when I started. So for this operation, obviously that's not going to do if you need precision degrees, but it's plenty good enough for what I'm doing here. I'll just get this top piece milled off now. Tighten it up a bit more. Okay.  1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 160
What I'm doing here is I've got a parallel laying on top of the vise, and I've got a scribe line actually on the tool, and what I'm doing is lining the scribe line up with the parallel on the top of the vise to give me the mill angle.
Right, let's get that bit milled off. Right, got these two faces milled off now. So we're gradually getting down to that shape on the end. That's working out pretty good actually. Should be off at an angle, but I'll have a look at that later on what I can do with that. I can just face that end off at an angle, which will be fine because the relief is actually on the bit anyway. So obviously we've got to cut a bit out there, drill a relief hole for the cutter, but we'll do that in a different operation. We'll turn on this end now and just put the mitre on that end. That's going to be the easiest end to do. In fact, there's going to be no special requirements there. Right, got it set up at 45 degrees, so I'm going to machine that off until I get down to the line. As you can see, that's not quite right, so I'm going to have to put that in and come up with a different angle. You see it? Got that milled out, so now we've got to mill out the diamond shape on that end and also the cutter shape on that end.
What I'm doing here is I'm having to take the vise off and off the mill table. I've got an old 5-inch vise, as you can see a bit later on in the video. It needs a bit of a clean up, but it's got a turntable with it, so I can turn it for the angle. But I wish that in hindsight I'd have put the rotary table on, because that would have made life a lot easier with the angles that I've had to cut, rather than trying to use this rotary table for the vise. But anyway, that's the decision I made. I normally use a 4-inch vise, because the problem with this 5-inch vise that I've got is it doesn't go quite back far enough because of its size to allow the mill cutter to reach the back jaw of the vise.
Right, I'm going to set the angle up. I've got a small guide pin in the chuck, and I'm going to move the table running the guide pin along the side of the cutter. Right, that's given me this angle to the cutter. Firstly, I've got to drill a hole, which is this hole, for the cutter relief. Yeah, that hole is centre of here, and it is get that out. Get that one out. I'm going to locate the clearance hole by using a little needle and lining it up with my mark. Perfect. Lock the table off. What I've got in there is just a tiny needle and it's lined up with my mark, so I can now set my clearance hole, because I know I'm directly in that position, and I can use that. If I zero the DRO, I can use that to find the edge of the cut, which is, when I can find the cutter, which will be this cut edge here. Okay, that's what I want to find once I've drilled the clearance hole. That's the clearance hole drilled. That's that end milled. We'll flip it round and sort the other end out now. Got a little pin in here so I can move the X and Y axis until I get the bit where it's seated correctly, and then I'll know the pin or the centre of the spindle is in the correct place to drill the hole for the screw to hold the bit in. Right, it's an M4 by 7, so it's a 3.5mm drill bit for the tap. Sorry, 3.3mm drill bit for the tap. Getting a bit hard on the fingers with that small tab holder. It's the same procedure for the other end, whereby I use the pin to locate it in the correct position. Right, there we have it. Well, there's only one way to test it. Take it over to the lathe and put it through its paces. Right, let's put it to the test. 3 tools in one. Facing off. And now flip it round for the chamfer. What could be easier? That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. I would also appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button, because that will enable me to grow the channel so that I can keep making these videos. Please leave a comment or a question. I do read all of the comments and reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching.